Hi everyone, I'm Mike. This is the Outdoor Adventure and Gear. Today I'm going to take you guys along with me on a hike at the Fork Branch Nature Preserve in Delaware. Just a little wander in the woods and a little question time so you guys can get to know me and know about the channel a little better. And who knows what we might see today. Come on. Nice little meet and greet sign. Some history about this place. I actually knew the doctor. Him and his wife used to hike these woods, and then when he passed away, he had some of his estate set aside to develop it and make it a nice nature trail. It's beautiful. And I got my mic on today, so hopefully that helps with all this wind. Now, since Delaware is a small state and doesn't have a lot of mountainous areas, most of the land is below sea level. The hiking trails that we do have tend to be populated at times, but I'll get in as much video as I can. The trail today doesn't seem that populated. Maybe we'll get lucky and have most of it to ourselves. Absolutely gorgeous out here today. Now, I did bring my stool with me, my stove, coffee. Hopefully I can find a place back here. We can get a little privacy, sit back. I have some questions to answer. I know my channel is just starting to grow, but I do have some questions that have been sent in and I'm going to answer them. Maybe that'll help out. You guys get to know a little bit more about me. So one question I've already gotten asked was what I'm sure a lot of backpackers get asked. What has been the coldest temps you've ever stayed out in? Now, luckily, a couple years ago, we had an extremely cold winter. I say luckily because I love the cold. I don't want much to do with anything above 85 degrees. The coldest temps I've ever stayed out in was -6 one camping trip and a -4 on the other. I didn't mind it. I had everything, all the proper gear I needed. Now, the one thing I noticed when I'm out in those type of temperatures, the only thing that really gets cold on me, I'm sure a lot of you guys have the same problem, is the very tip of my nose when I'm trying to sleep. I've tried face masks. I've tried complete pullover, like the old type ski mask, like robber masks. And I found that with those, the more I breathe, condensation, it'll freeze in the middle of the night. So I'm still trying to come up with a trick for that. Who knows, maybe I'll come up with something one day and patent it. But I love the cold temperatures. The colder it gets, the happier I am outside. And on this, which I'm filming this Father's Day, we are having an unseasonably cool day. I think it's about 72, but with the wind blowing, it feels like it's in the mid 60s. My kind of weather. Now, you never know what you're gonna find out in the woods when you're hiking, but this one made me smile, and you'll see why. Hidden right here in the crook of this tree is this tiny little rock out in the middle, as you can see, nowheres on this trail. It says smile with a flower or plant and hashtag it's me. Once in a while we found these things out before, and it's that's pretty cool to find out today on a Father's Day. I'll put it back there for the next person to find. One thing I don't have to worry about in Delaware, truly worry about, is any type of venomous snake. There has been reports of copperheads being found in Delaware, and I've never seen one. Not that they don't exist, but I've never seen one. But there is a possibility we'll find some black snakes, maybe some garter snakes out here, rat snakes. I'll keep looking in the sunlit areas. That'd be pretty cool to find. We got some big ones out here. And along the trail, they have these little information boards, which are pretty nice. This is a very well maintained trail for anyone to get out locally. I think it's about 1.5 miles long, but heads out deep enough that you can get some privacy. It's a beautiful area and plenty of photo shots. Right now, I'm looking for a nice spot to sit down where I can have some coffee. It's time. I'm going to enjoy my Father's Day coffee. Had some earlier, but my wife said go out and get some wood time in. I'm out, and I'm going to find me a nice spot to see. I think I see a little crossover coming up here where I can sit down and have a drink and answer another question. I've got like I think 5 or 6 to answer, so I'll pull them up and I'll show you what I'm looking at right now. This is pretty cool. Look at that. That is really cool to see. Nice little creek walk over, and look how that tree is laying. Look at that. When she fell all the way up there, the other tree caught it. Oh man, that's really cool. Now, out in the mountains you see a ton of this. I like to see it in our little mountain of woods from time to time. It's like a unicorn. Look at this one right over here. This huge tree. Something took her down. Once in a while when I get out here, I like to go off trail. I'm gonna go off trail just a little bit and see what's out here. It is, man, it's beautiful out in these woods. Now, when I go off trail any place that I'm not familiar with, or there's any kind of possibility that I won't find myself back to a marked trail, even if it's just heading out in the middle of the night to use a restroom, what I like to do is take sticks that I see laying on the ground and I'll lean them against trees. So when I turn around, because you know when you turn around the woods from the path you've walked, it always looks different going back, even if you're familiar with that way. So what I like to do is take sticks. I'll show you what I'm doing right here. I'll take sticks that I find and I place them on trees. And then I just follow the sticks all the way back. I'll show you what I mean. Just like that. And I'll have sticks like that. Now I'm gonna go that way a little bit further, but I would go every so many yards and I might put a stick here, or go down further and put a stick here. But it helps. And you hear a lot about hikers getting off trail for the smallest little thing, and then when they turn around, they can't find their way back. I went out a little bit. Just, like Delaware has a lot of flat area, but this place is really pretty. You know, not so densely forested or that I can't make my way through. Really nice. Back on the trail. I think I'm gonna sit up here. There's a nice spot. I'm gonna sit and make a quick cup of coffee and answer another question. All right, let's make a little coffee. Hoping I'm blocked by the wind enough. I know you guys recognize that little stove from the review. She's still going strong. I want a warm cup of coffee. I don't think I'll get a boiling one today. Yeah. Now that the water's getting hot, I'm going to throw this little coffee bag in there. Wife and I use these for our coffee maker, but I found out that using them on backpacking adventures works great, or hikes. It works just like a tea bag. Aside from a nice couple that keeps walking by every once in a while, got this whole trail to myself. That's how I take it, out in the woods alone. All right, now that my coffee's done brewing, I'm gonna let my stove sit over there and cool down a little bit. These coffee bags work great. They just need to steep a little bit. So I'm gonna give that a minute or two, and then I'll answer another question. One of the things you get asked about all the time, and my brother does this too, asks a lot, what, if anything, has ever scared you out in the woods? And I can go anywhere now. I'm not bothered by anything in the woods now. But that first year I was out all the time, I had 2 incidents that freaked me out. One was nothing more than a fox in the middle of the night. I don't know if anyone's ever heard a fox scream or its call in the middle of the night, but let me tell you, if you ever hear it and you don't know what that is, you will swear that something's being killed in the woods, there's a ghost running through the woods. It is a screech that you just have to hear. After you've heard it though, you'll recognize it any other time. I've heard it many times since then, but that first time, believe me, I came out of my tent and stood by it for a little while. The second time I was actually scared in the woods or had something startle me was when I was playing around experimenting where I could go as far as temperature wise, and I was going out a lot when it was cold, a lot. I mean bitter, under 10 degrees. And this happened on one of those nights. Now, of course, everyone knows when you're out in the woods in the fall and winter time after the foliage is dropped, these trees and all these limbs are touching each other, but you're not used to hearing that at night in the dark. I remember being out one night and being inside the tent, almost about ready to fall asleep, because whenever I'm out in the woods, I get angst. I have so much adrenaline, I have a hard time going to sleep. So I'm sitting up and I hear this, and to me, it sounded like the wind chimes in the Blair Witch Project. That's all I heard. That's all that was going through my mind. So I jump up and I go outside, and I'm still hearing it. I'm still hearing it. So I turn off my light. I grab my small hatchet I had with me. I grab my Mora knife I had on my hip. And I went out in the woods after it. I was going to find out what was making this horrific noise. And talk about feeling like a fool when you're standing out in the middle of a field and you finally realize it's nothing more than limbs touching each other. But those are the things you have to get over when you start going out in the woods alone. You have to not conquer fears, but you have to get used to hearing things and seeing things that you don't in society. But those are the only two things that ever scared me out in the woods. Most people know that the main thing you have to worry about in the woods or on trails or at campsites, it's not animals. Even though once in a while you might come across a black bear or you might come across a rattlesnake, my wife and I have come across them. The main thing you have to be aware of is always people. Always be aware of people, always be around of your surroundings. If you're out with loved ones camping or little ones, always be aware where they're at all times. By far, people are the worst animal you'll ever meet in the woods. So I hope I answered those questions. I'm going to enjoy my coffee for a little bit, get hiking down the trail. I was happy enough that no one's bothered me yet out here. And I'll answer another one. Is there anything better than having a nice cup of coffee out in the woods? Ugh. Nothing better. Just wish I was waking up in a tent somewhere on a mountain. But you got to put those spots in where you can. I'll take this whenever I can get it. Let's go hiking. Handful of leaves. She's ready to put back in the bag. You may have noticed on the back of my pack, my day pack, I have a little stool back there. Man, I bought it back in the early days when I was buying all my gear. And it's done really well. That thing is at least 10 years old. I forget the name of it. But there's so many down trees back here and there's so many great areas to sit. I really don't need it today. It's not very heavy, but I might do a review on it. It's a Stool. There's not much to say about it. I've had it forever. I don't even know if the company's still around. It's lightweight. I always say have everything. I've got extra stools. Of course, the backpacking chairs I put up. Every gear fits a certain situation. I didn't want to bring a chair out here, so bringing that stool worked great, although I didn't need it. It's amazing once you go hiking in the woods, even on a well-established trail, how much storm damage you'll come across. I want to show you this. This is pretty dramatic. You've got like one area, everything came down. Crazy. All right, on to another question I got. I know a lot of other stealth YouTubers or anybody who's been stealth camping has been asked this. Have you ever got caught? Yep, I got caught. Well, we got caught. This happened about 4 years ago. Now, my wife was in a car accident 4 years ago, and due to her injuries, we had to curtail a lot of our camping and backpacking, all that stuff, till she healed. She's almost 100% now, which is great, but I so bad wanted to get her out. And so we went stealth camping. Nothing big, in a small area, but the place we went, I couldn't go too far from where I parked. And at that time, I couldn't get a car camping site nearby. So we went out. I took her to this one spot I knew, but I knew we couldn't go far from where we had to park, and that was one of the reasons why I chose it. Well, it just happened to be on that night, some rangers were out, park rangers, and they stumbled across the car, came back to where we were, because trust me, it was a straight line to us, and we weren't even 0.3 of a mile from the car. It's not that I expected to get caught, but anybody knows out here, sooner or later you are going to get caught. Guys, if you get caught, girls, if you get caught, be respectful. Don't go anywhere where there's no trespassing signs. You are legally trespassing. They can press charges other than telling you just to get. But I was just somewhere, we were just somewhere we weren't supposed to be camping at. Be polite. The rangers were great guys. They just laughed and said, look, it's okay. They helped us. Well, they didn't help. I cleaned everything up, packed all of our stuff up. We walked out. They were true professionals. And that was the end of our night. We went home, made the best of the night we could. But yeah, you know, if you're out here and you're stealth camping, you're going to get caught sooner or later, and it's not an issue. I've been stealth camping for years, and out of all the stealth camps I've done, I got caught once in 200 nights out in the woods. That's fine with me. I'll take those odds. Will I get caught again? I'm pretty sure I'm going to get caught again. I don't have an issue with getting caught again. But I won't be somewhere where there's no trespassing signs, or somewhere I could get in trouble. And I suggest you don't either. But just be polite, guys. Be nice. They're just doing their job. Don't be a, you know what. That was a good question. I like that one. I like when I get asked even by family members. Man, it's blustery back here. And they're coming across another little walk-over bridge. This is pretty cool. Now, although this trail is somewhat secluded, we are near some developments. I'm sure you might be able to hear some music playing somewheres over there. Might not. But I love when any wildlife services put these kind of accesses for people who may be in wheelchairs. Well done, everyone. I love that. Now this is nice. They put this because, well, you're basically getting to a bog area in some of this. I think all around this area, as most of Delaware is, or along the shore, is below sea level. But this is really nice. A nice little aluminum walkway. Gives everyone a chance to get out and enjoy the outdoors. Some who might not be physically able to with other means, but definitely wheelchair accessible. Love seeing this. This is one thing I always love coming across. Snake skin. Anybody want to make some boots, a belt? Man, tell me Mother Nature ain't awesome. Check this out. That's pretty cool. Where I think there used to be limb areas where trees healed over. I think. That's pretty cool. One more question I had asked, which is really funny because it's a funny story. Have you ever forgot anything? Yes. Matter of fact, no matter how well I prepare, seems like I always forget one little thing, but I've only had it happen one time where me forgetting something altered the trip. My wife and I were out on a trip, and I have a couple of tents that are almost like each other. Well, they're both Alps mountaineering tents, but I grabbed the wrong poles. That changed everything because when we got there, luckily it was just a car camping overnighter. But when I got there, that altered everything. So we couldn't camp. We had to end the night, and we made it up. We went back the next weekend. But yeah, that's the worst I've ever done. One time my wife, when we were going backpacking, I think we were doing the AT. We haven't hiked the whole AT. We do sections whenever we can, or overnighters whenever we can. I mean, I'd love to hike the AT or do a section. But in the midst of it, it was a multi-day trip. I think it was 3 days we did. I think this was Dolly Sods, I think. And in the midst of everything, my wife's sleeping pad got forgot. I wanted to go home instantly. I did not want her sleeping out without a sleeping pad. Tough woman she is. She said, nope, we're gonna enjoy it. We're gonna have a great time. So I made sure every night, whenever we stayed, I softened up her ground for her with a stick, made everything under where she slept was gonna be nice and soft, and then piled as much as like 6 inches of leaves up under where she was sleeping. And she said she slept pretty well because it was in the summer. So she didn't have to worry about any cold coming from the ground. Actually, it was cooling if it had come through. I just wanted her comfortable, but even then she toughed it out. She wasn't gonna turn that trip in. So just roll with the punches, guys, when stuff comes along that you didn't prepare for. 9 times out of 10, you'll be able to fix it and still have a great trip. But yeah, it's gonna happen to the best of us. We're gonna forget a piece of gear and something gets altered, or if you have an injury. It's not a big deal. You know why? Because you can always get out again, always have a good time. Don't act like you can't. Don't act like because that one trip got ruined, you can't ever go back out again. This is pretty cool. I take it someone comes out here a lot, that's their favorite hiking stick. They probably grab it every time they come out. That's awesome. Well, there you go, guys. This was just a nice Father's Day hike for me to get out and enjoy some nature, answer some questions, share myself with the community, and hopefully I get more ventures in soon. I've got 3 stealth campers planned. I've got a car camping trip planned, and I've got if things work out, my wife and I are going to try to go to Dolly Sods again and try to hit Seneca Creek. They have a great campsite there, great campsites along the water. But keep your eyes open, more adventures are coming. Please like, share, and subscribe. I hope to be talking to you and sharing some more videos with you again soon. Thanks, guys. See you on the next one.